What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the Justin Dietrich channel. Coming here with the Week 3 college football preview. If you guys missed the last week's preview, you're going to go check that out and see if my predictions were right. I'll talk about them a little bit in this video. But yeah, Week 3, we're going to get right into this real quickly. Before we start, though, if you hear random noises coming, I'm in like a new apartment recently, and they're doing construction outside my window. And the construction noises get loud sometimes. So you might hear those come through on the video. I'm not sure what the audio is going to sound like. Also, you guys are going to want to leave a like and subscribe because we do these weekly and you don't want to miss any of them. So, yeah, we're going to get right into this and talk about the first big game, right? But actually, I lied because we haven't ordered the things. And this is only the second week we've been doing this. So, oh my. It's only the second week we've been doing this. So, I haven't actually gotten like a full rhythm yet. But what we do is we go recap last week's big games, some top performers, and then we go ahead and look at the upcoming week, the preview, what the video is about and preview those big games, pick a game of the week, and do all that. I mean, looking back, Texas, Michigan was the game of the week, right? And Texas embarrassed Michigan at the Big House. I mean, that was an utter embarrassment. If people didn't understand that Michigan team isn't who they were a year ago, now they do. Now they do. That team is not good. I mean, they're not. They're going to get embarrassed throughout the season at times. I mean, I don't think 8 wins, 9 at best. That's what their ceiling is. And Michigan's fans are going to have to cope with that. I mean, they're not the same team they were last year. That's just what it is. Bowling Green almost went into Penn State, Happy Valley, and took the upset. That was a fun one to kind of keep along. I was at the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game in person. That was sad. We blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. Kansas State edged out Tulane at Tulane. Syracuse with the big upset of Georgia Tech. Kyle McCord, is he legit? Was it just Ryan Day's fault? Maybe it was. Georgia looked solid. The other big one, Notre Dame, got embarrassed again. They find a way to do it every year. This year it was Northern Illinois and Ethan Hampton at quarterback who embarrassed Notre Dame at home. I've got a friend who goes to Notre Dame. I texted her and apologized. I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys lost again. It happens every year. You guys should be used to it by now. Iowa State won the Cy-Hawk Trophy. That was fun. It was a close game, defensive battle. I mean, anytime with Iowa. California went into Auburn and beat them. South Carolina embarrassed Kentucky. Ole Miss continued to look strong. Miami continued to look strong. Alabama continued to look middle of the pack. Missouri continues to look strong. Illinois upset Kansas, which was kind of disappointing because I had high hopes for Kansas this year. It really just is the play of Jalen Daniels at quarterback, and I hope he can turn that around. But right now, he hasn't really been looking good. Then we get further into the night. Tennessee and NC State, that one was just an utter disaster for the Wolfpack. I'll admit I got this prediction wrong. I thought NC State had more to prove after that week one kind of blunder against Western Carolina. They had this one, and they just look bad. Grayson McCall's not the same guy. I mean, it's early, but he's just not the same guy. And Tennessee might be legit in the SEC this year. They might be legit. They're a fun team. Nebraska beating Shadur and Colorado, and the whole, debacle with the offensive line and just Dion and Shadur putting down the offensive line. Colorado's a train wreck, and Nebraska's good. I think they're going to finish the year ranked. Obviously, they're ranked right now, but I think they're going to finish the year ranked. That's what matters is your AP finish, right? Houston and Oklahoma, that game was a disaster, 16-12 Oklahoma. I'll admit I also got this one wrong. Clemson, App State. I thought App State was going to come in and play Clemson close. They did not. Cade Klubnik had 7 touchdowns, and Clemson won by 46 points. Boise State and Oregon, this one was a pleasure to watch. Ashton GT is legit. He is running back 1 in this year's class. He is legit. He could be a top 15 pick. He's an incredible player, an incredible prospect. There's just nothing else to say. He is so good at football. It's ridiculous. And I honestly thought they were going to squeak away with that win. But Oregon, they need to watch their backs because they've played 2 lower tier teams now in FCS and then Group of 5, and they've almost lost both of them. So how good really is Oregon? I don't know. And then that brings us to the end of the night. Oregon State took a win. Arizona State beat their first SEC opponent ever in Mississippi State at home. So that was quite cool for them. If we're going to nominate some top performers, I mean, we got to look at Ashton Jeanty again, right? I hate to just call him the top performer every single week, but we kind of, at this point, we kind of have to. He had 25 carries for 192 yards and three touchdowns against a top 10 team in the country at that top 10 team stadium. I mean, Jeanty is a legitimate guy. He's a legit guy. He's just so good at football. Then I think we got to go over and look at Tennessee here. And Dylan Sampson, their running back, he rushed for 132 yards and two touchdowns against an NC State defense that people thought was going to be rock solid. He exposed that defense. He just looked incredible. I mean, Tennessee, he wasn't the only one on Tennessee that looked incredible in that game, but he did look really, really good. Continue to scroll back for top performers, right? I mean, I think we already know who the actual top performer is going to be. It's going to be Ashton Jeanty again, but it's nice to go back and kind of look and see who did what this week. Cam Rising, there's questions and concerns about him. Is he injured? What's kind of going on with him? But he played. I mean, Rising's always good when he's in, and he put up some good stats when he was in for Utah. They beat Baylor at home this week. If you want, I didn't even see this performance till now. I was scrolling through. UNLV put up 72 points against Utah Tech. I did see that. However, I didn't see that Ricky White III had 111 yards and three touchdowns on only five catches. That could compete with Jeanty, one more touchdown than Ashton Jeanty. And I think, I mean, I'm gonna have to nominate Jeanty again for Player of the Week. He's two-time Player of the Week now, or Performance of the Week. Um, hopefully someone can take that mantle this week. We'll have to see. But now we're gonna move on to looking at week three matchups, right? I think the first kind of fun games you get are well, you get one fun one on Thursday. Arizona State at Texas State, two undefeated teams. Texas State, a lot of people think they're going to come out of the group of five and be that group of five playoff team. Arizona State is surprising people right now at 2-0. So that could be fun to watch. And then you look at the big ones. UNLV at Canvas or at Canvas at Kansas is going to be interesting. If you told me 2 weeks ago that was going to be interesting, I would have said no. But now it is. UNLV is undefeated. Kansas just lost and fell out of the rankings. I think that'll be fun. Kansas should be a fun environment. And then you look at the Big 12 matchup. Arizona travels to Kansas State to take on the Wildcats. I'll make a pick for this one. I fully expect Arizona to win this football game. They struggled in their last game against Northern Arizona, I'll admit. But if Noah Fafita can stay on track, they're the best team in the Big 12, in my opinion. I think that's solidified in my mind. I think Kansas State's a good team. However, I don't trust Avery Johnson in like a shootout. And I think with Arizona, all their games are going to be shootouts. I mean, Johnson so far, 29 of 44 for 334 yards, four touchdowns, and a pick. Plus they're rushing, which I don't have with me, but I don't trust it. I just don't trust them in a shootout. I don't trust Kansas State in a shootout. I think Arizona wins that game. College game days going to South Carolina for LSU, South Carolina. I think LSU takes care of business pretty easily. The Battle of Victory Bell down in Miami, Ohio. That'll be a brutal game to watch. Alabama, Wisconsin. Obviously, Wisconsin's a jumping environment, but Alabama's going to win that football game. Memphis at Florida State should be one to keep your eye on because Memphis might be able to upset Florida State. I mean, Memphis is one of the best group of five teams in the country, probably the best in the American Conference. Going to a struggling Florida State team who honestly, it's not just their play that's struggling. I think their spirits are crushed. Memphis has a chance to fully crush their spirits and make them start 0-3 with two losses being in Tallahassee. I mean, that would be devastating for Seminoles fans. This one should be fun as well. Boston College at Missouri. Missouri is, in my mind, they should be a top five team. They're ranked number 6. I think Missouri is an incredible team. I think they might win the SEC this year. That could, backfire. And Boston College is surprising me, and it's mainly because of Thomas Castellanos, their quarterback. Last year, he was just really fun to watch. I mean, he was not a great passer, but he was an electric passer and a really, really electric runner. This year, he stepped up his game. He only has 26 pass attempts, but he's got 19 completions, 340 yards, 6 touchdowns. Obviously, he's adding on the rushing game as well. I don't think Boston College wins this game. However, I do think they compete for the ACC title because that's a fun offense. And I think it's going to be closer than people think down there in Missouri. We have the Civil War in Oregon and Oregon State. I expect the Ducks to take that one handedly. Notre Dame travels to Purdue. We'll see if Notre Dame can bounce back after a devastating loss or if Purdue and Hudson Card can stay undefeated. Hudson Card broke the or tied the record for completion percentage with a minimum of 20 pass attempts in their first game. He's 24-25 on the year. And Riley Leonard still has yet to throw a passing touchdown. He's got two interceptions, no passing touchdowns. So watch for Purdue upset on that one. Washington State, the Apple Cup is going to be happening. I expect Washington to win this game. However, John Mateer for Washington State has looked really good, so keep an eye out on them. I do think that the Huskies win that football game, though. Continuing to scroll, Utah State. Let's see what else we got. Ole Miss travels to Wake Forest. I think Ole Miss will embarrass Wake Forest. Not too much competition there. Georgia at Kentucky. I think Georgia's gonna embarrass Kentucky. I mean, there aren't too many close matchups this week. Colorado State will be interesting. Obviously, the matchup last year was crazy. They talk a lot of talk. It's a rivalry game. I think that'll be fun. I do think that the Buffs are going to take that one, although I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado State wins it. UCF TCU should be fun. It's at TCU in Fort Worth. Both teams are undefeated. UCF, one of the newcomers, obviously last year to the Big 12. TCU a staple for a long time. This one should be fun. I think I'd pick TCU to win this one because I don't fully trust in KJ Jefferson as a passer, and I think that could hold back UCF's offense. However, their running game is so dynamic and electric with Penny Boone and RJ Harvey and KJ Jefferson's dual threat ability that it's going to be hard for them to be stopped. But I still think I'm going to pick TCU on that one. Not too much else. BYU, Wyoming. Maybe you're a fan of Maryland, Virginia. On that one should be fun. Maryland lost to Michigan State last week. I think I'd probably pick Virginia in this one to start 3-0 and win this one at home. I think Anthony Calandria is a solid quarterback. They're actually predicting Maryland 67% chance to win. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. If you're betting people, maybe take Virginia on that one. Now we had to pick game of the week. Game of the week. I think you can make a really solid case for Boston College, Missouri. I think you can make a really solid case for LSU, South Carolina. I think you can make a solid case for Alabama, Wisconsin. But I think I'm going to go with that Friday night game, Arizona, Kansas State. It determines a lot in the Big 12. It does. These are two of the top teams in the Big 12. If anyone getting a loss early in the season, especially a conference loss, that's big news. And I think that'll be a really, really fun game to watch as well because they're two offensive heavy teams. And like I said earlier, I make my pick for that one, Arizona, to win. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys agreed or disagreed with any of my picks, or you want something, if you just want to say anything, literally anything, I don't care what it is, put it in the comment section below. I respond to comments when I get them. As well as you're going to want to turn on the post notifications that you don't miss these. We're doing weekly recap videos as well as more random videos sprinkled in there, as well as when the NBA season starts, we'll be covering that and maybe a few NFL videos soon. We'll see. I have some NFL things I might want to talk about, some topics and some ideas that we might be cooking up. But for now, that is it for me, and I will see you all in the next video.